Elections are supposed to be held on the second Tuesday of August in the 5th year, not after the 5th year, not every 5 years, but in the 5th year. Less said about it at this particular point, the better. But elections, as per the Constitution, should be held this year. We are ready. We can have it. The people are ready. The register is ready. The election question has been defined. We are going to vote on the economy. So yes, we are ready. We are just waiting for the moment to send the legacy politicians home. These legacy politicians who've messed up the economy and the lives of our people. They are the ones who don't wish that we have elections this year. But the Kenyan people are ready. They've defined the question to be about the economy. It is not Safina that makes William Ruto a one-term president. It's the people of Kenya who have made him a one-term president. And it's the people who will decide. Let the people decide. Remember, the person who is going to be elected president must get 50% plus one of the vote. So it doesn't matter how splitted or how many candidates come out to contest. The winner must get at least 50% plus one, including William Ruto himself.
A very good day to you, our viewers. This is Road to 2027, and we are honored to have you, Safina Deputy Party Leader, Wakili Willis Otieno. Karibu sana. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. How are you doing?
Very well. How's your year started?
The year started on a positive note, because I do believe that despite the challenges the Kenyan people are facing, the resilience of our people and their quest for better will be achieved in our lifetime. And this is the year of manifestations. And the Kenyan people will manifest that which they desire. A leadership that is responsive to their needs. Not about legacy politicians, but about the people of Kenya. So I'm positive, despite the challenges.
Okay.
Yes.
A very good way to start the year and start on a positive note. But Kenyans are going through a bit of issues here and there. The reason we decided to pay you a visit and have a conversation with you, because you're a very respected opinion leader. And 2026 is a very significant year, considering last year we were just saying elections are elections are a few years or a few months away. Right now, elections are stone throw away. Some people say the elections are in 2027. You have been a proponent of saying the elections will happen in August 2026. We are in 2026, and that's why I said, let's come and have a conversation with Wakili Willis Otieno and get to understand. Do you still think, or are you still a proponent of the elections happening in August 2026?
I'm a reverend lawyer. That is what I am, a reverend lawyer. And I am a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution. Anybody who reads the Constitution will come to the same conclusion, that as per our Constitution, elections are held on the second Tuesday of August in the 5th year. And that issue is now pending before the courts. We do hope we'll get an interpretation that upholds the Constitution. Elections are supposed to be held on the second Tuesday of August in the 5th year, not after the 5th year, not every 5 years, but in the 5th year. Less said about it at this particular point, the better. But elections, as per the Constitution, should be held this year.
As it stands, we are waiting, obviously, the conclusion of the court. As it stands, do you think Kenya is ready to have an election, the general election in 2026? In as much as the Constitution says that, according to your interpretation or the interpretation of other lawyers and constitutional lawyers, is Kenya ready to have an election in August 11, 2026, if the court concludes that?
The ingredients of an election are there. We have the people, we have the voter register, and we have the personnel who can conduct elections. What else do you need? We just did by-elections here in 27 electoral areas. So what's the difference with having a general elections on the same day this year? We can. We are ready. We can have it. The people are ready. The register is ready. The election question has been defined. We are going to vote on the economy. So yes, we are ready. We are just waiting for the moment to send the legacy politicians home. These legacy politicians who've messed up the economy and the lives of our people. They are the ones who don't wish that we have elections this year. But the Kenyan people are ready. They've defined the question to be about the economy. We are going to vote on the economy. Which economic promise means sense to the people of Kenya? That is what is on the ballot. And the people are ready with their ballot papers. They are ready with their voting cards. So, we are ready.
Maybe they would say the IEBC is not ready because we know the procurement process in the IEBC. There's a lot of, quite a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of delays here and there. Probably, is the IEBC ready?
Those are things that are raised by legacy politicians to hoodwink the masses, that we are not ready, procurement. What procurement? A ballot paper is a ballot paper. There's nothing so special about it. The most important ingredient in an election are the people and the voter register. The people are there, the people are ready. The people will conduct the elections and they'll get their winners. They will send all these legacy politicians home. Normally, your legacy politicians try to wink you, lie to you, gaslight you that, oh, we are not ready, procurement, CG what, referendum, boundaries review. Those are all just mere talk to tell you how it is impossible. How comes when they are doing the by-election of the 7 electoral areas, they're able to procure? Did you even hear about the procurement of the ballot papers? But the ballot papers were there. People voted. Was it not counted? Were results not announced? So, yeah. So don't buy into those nonsense that legacy politicians tell you. And I've always said, presidential elections and other elections are all done at the polling station. They are not done at bomas. The polling stations are known. Everybody goes, 600 people per polling station maximum. You go and conduct your elections, you vote, you count in your polling station, you announce the results. What special magic do you need? Somebody lying to you that we are going to now procure an IT infrastructure system that costs almost 20 billion to set up a process at Bomas that is used to undermine your vote. No, we are ready. 600 Kenyans maximum per polling station can turn up and vote. And the Kenyan people can do the math and know what is the outcome of that election. Everything is ready. Don't buy the legacy politicians' talk of we are not prepared, that they need time to procure. They don't need. That is normally just to fatigue you, to create an impression of something so big, so great, that is difficult to deal with. It's not. It's very easy to deal with. And on this one, the people are more than ready for the time.
As Safina party, if the elections, if the court declares that the election should be held this year, and the IEBC officially announces the date of elections, currently as Safina, are you going to go all alone and with your presidential candidate to the ballot, or you trying to have a conversation with the other opposition leaders?
When you say we'll go alone, we'll not go alone. We'll go with the people. We will go with the people because we believe that it's about the people, not about us. And that is why we've come up with our feast agenda. Key 5 points. And we are saying what should be on the ballot, what we represent, what we are about. We are saying, number one, the legal debts that have been taken by William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, we will not pay it. Any debt that was illegally taken and the money went to people's private accounts, we will not pay it. That's number one. This year alone, we are paying 2.3 trillion on debt finance against a revenue collection of last financial year of 2.4 trillion. So the bulk of that illegal debt we are paying for, it's illegal. We are not paying it as Safina Party. What that means to the Kenyan people is this. Number one, the cost of education from primary, secondary to tertiary, TVET, is costed per capitation per student 300 billion. So we have 2.3 trillion. We'll remove 300 billion from that money that could have gone to pay illegal debt, applied to education. So education becomes free, funded by taxpayers' money. No additional contribution by the parent, from primary, secondary to TVET. The cost of healthcare in this country costed at 158 billion. So we have 2 trillion remaining from the illegal debt that was going to be paid. We'll remove 158 billion there and apply it to healthcare. So the Kenyan will walk in and not pay a single coin to access healthcare services. The conversation turns from access to quality. Are we getting quality healthcare services? Not that somebody is still lying at home because they're trying to fundraise to take them to hospital. And number 4, we are paying VAT of 16%. The Kenyan people are suffering. Their earning capacity has shrunk. So part of why the high cost of living is because VAT at 16% is high. These people need a breather. Safina Party, we are saying, do away with 16% VAT, introduce a 5% sales tax. So the cost of goods and services fall by 11%, right? People will have more disposable income in their pockets. And with more disposable income in their pockets, they are able to consume more. When they consume more, the manufacturers must produce more. You'll see that stimulate the economy. And remember also, when people are not paying for school fees, they are not paying for healthcare services, that money is still released back to their pockets. And with that money in their pockets, they are able to spend more in the economy. You start seeing the economy getting stimulated. And number 5, Kenyans have great ideas. What they lack is access to capital. Safina Party, we are saying government will not borrow domestic market. We will not borrow money from our local banks. What that means is this, that in the domestic banks, they love to come to the Kenyan people to beg them to take loans so they can be able to produce. Because the banks must make profits. They must pay their shareholders. They must pay their workers. So they will look for market amongst the Kenyan people. Interest rates will fall. Today, interest rate, you go to the bank, you are told is 20% interest rate. Why? Because your government is borrowing illegally from that bank at 14% interest rate. The individual goes, is told, credit assessment, 20%. You can't afford it. When the government walks out of that domestic borrowing, the bank that has the money will have to beg you, can you please come and take this money? Interest rates will fall to 3%, 4%. With 3% interest rate, you borrow 1 million Kenya shillings. You're only paying 30,000 per year as interest. What can the Kenyan people with great ideas do with that access to capital? You'll see a boom in our economy because people now have access to capital at low interest rates. They can now commercialize their inventions, their ideas. That is what Safina is about. But legacy politicians are about distribution. I will give you 10 billion, I will give you 50 billion. Giving from where? Where are you giving it from? It's not their money, it's the people's money. So we have a very clear choice to make. And when you say that we form a coalition with other people, how many of the other campaigns have similar ideas? If we agree on these ideas, then we can form a coalition. So it becomes a coalition of ideas, not a coalition of removing William Ruto or perpetuating William Ruto. Because that is all part of legacy politics. And for me, if you look at both sides, what's the difference? At one point or another, the people who claim they are united opposition and the people who are claiming to be brought by the government, they've been in government together at one point or another. They've shared the cabinet room. Their legacy politics has led us to where we are. Why should we join it? Why should we? But if they said that now let's change our politics to be about the people of Kenya, it's about these ideas that you have, then we can form a coalition. So it becomes a coalition about the people, not a coalition about giving people seats. We are not looking for seats for ourselves. We are looking for a country that works for its people. And to secure the promise that Safina has made to the people of Kenya. One instrument, one tool that legacy politicians have used to brutalize the people of Kenya is the police. That when somebody goes to actualize the constitutional rights, you send a policeman to go and brutalize and to kill. Safina Party, we are saying no. Police must be accountable to the people. How will you achieve it? We are saying every police station must have a civilian oversight board made up of the people who are served by that police precinct. Just like every police, every school, every health center has a board. So every police station, because if police is a service, education is a service, health is a service, then the administrative component of that service provider must have civilian participation. So every police station must have a civilian oversight board that is responsible and has the mandate to walk into the police station, inspect the cells. If they find someone has been held there for more than 24 hours without being arraigned to court, they can raise a complaint. If they find that someone has injuries in the cells, they have a duty to inquire how did those injuries, how are they acquired? Was it in the cells? And why has that inmate not been taken to hospital? So those are the kind of ideas we are about. If policemen have been deployed to oversee a demonstration and one of them fires a gun, the civilian oversight board is able to ask, okay, who are deployed on that day? Who was issued with which firearm? Who was issued with which ammunition? What is the circumstance that led to the firing of a firearm? What was the consequence? Was there fatalities? Which officer is responsible? So that the people must now take power in their hands that we give security to the people, they must own it. The same way they must own their economy. Then the country starts serving the people, not legacy politicians. Today, you go to a police station, they don't care about their civilians. They care more about the above. Above who is in Nairobi. Above who has never stepped foot in Sindo. But the policeman in Sindo is not answerable to the people in Sindo. He's answerable to the big man in Nairobi. That policeman in Sindo must be oversighted by the people of Sindo at that police station. And he must be accountable to them. That is what Safina is saying. We must turn the state to be working for the people of Kenya. Any group that believes in that, we can work together. If they don't believe in that, why should we?
Wakili, if the elections are held this year in August 11th or in 2027, as it stands, from all the political dynamics happening right now, do you as Safina have the capacity or the preparedness, the readiness, the muscle to make William Ruto one-term president?
It is not Safina that makes William Ruto a one-term president. It's the people of Kenya who have made him a one-term president. And it's the people who will decide. Let the people decide. Safina Party has just proffered ideas on how things can be done differently. And ultimately, it's about the people of Kenya to decide what they want. As Safina Party, we've said, don't pay 16% VAT. The cost of goods and services must collapse by 11%. If the Kenyan people say that they don't want the cost of goods and services to come down by 11%, they want to pay more, William Ruto is there. If the Kenyan Safina Party has said, we will not borrow from the domestic market, you have access to capital at low interest rates. If the Kenyan people want interest rates to be at still 20%, 25% interest rate, William Ruto is there. They can vote for him. But if you want interest rates to fall to 4%, 3%, Safina is here. If you want to continue paying shift share and getting poor quality health services, William Ruto is there. But if you want to access quality healthcare services without paying an additional coin, we apply your taxpayer money towards your treatment, what you already paid in your taxes, then Safina is here. But if you think that no, we should pay more for healthcare, William Ruto is there. If you want to continue paying for education from primary to TVET, William Ruto is there. But if you want to be able to access quality education without paying an additional cost, that your taxpayer money already contributed is applied towards ensuring every kid in this country gets at basic minimum tertiary education, Safina is here. And tied to all of this, if you look at the commitments we've made as Safina Party, we are not saying that we are going to give you. We are saying what you will do. It is not the government that falls sick, it's the people. So if you voted on a platform that we are not going to pay additional cost, then just take your patient to hospital. Don't wait for government to give you money to take them to hospital. Once you get to hospital, demand for free, you'll access free services and demand for quality services. If we say you are not paying school fees, it's not government that pays school fees, it's the parent. Take your kid to school, don't pay. Demand for enough teachers now, enough classrooms for increased enrollment. If we say that you don't pay 16% VAT, it is 5% sales tax. It's not government that pays for VAT, it's the people. When you go to buy, simply don't pay the VAT 16%. It is you. You retain your 11%. You only make your contribution of 5% sales tax. So power is in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the leadership. Ours is merely to facilitate the actualization of the people.
Wakili, there's so much going on currently in the country, and you're raising quite pertinent issues. Do you think, and I will ask you two connected questions, do you think the Kenyan voter currently needs a mindset change? Because some of the ideas that are sold and by legacy politicians, as you call them, are about popularism or populist ideas. For example, we have seen President William Ruto has now moved from the hustler mantra, taking care of hustlers. He's now saying it is time for Kenya to move to become a first world country. And there is this mantra of the road to Singapore. Kenyans he's now trying to convince Kenyans to board that plane to Singapore. What do you think about this journey?
William Ruto has made 289 promises to the Kenyan people. He has only honored 19 of them. That is only 7%. You're not going to any Singapore with lies, okay? And the Kenyan people are now woke. Before, they may not have been more aware like they are today. And people can see through the lies. Nobody's going to get to Singapore or the standards of Singapore with lies. But that is the tool of trade of legacy politicians. To them, it's about hoodwinking, it's about lying, gaslighting to the people. They are not making tangible commitments, and they're not having tangible conversations with the people. That is why, Safina, we are very clear. We are about the people. It's about talking with the people, not talking at the people, not talking to them. We're having a conversation with them. And more Kenyans are now attuning their minds to this kind of conversation, understanding that leadership is just but a donated power, but the ultimate holder and beneficiary is the people. That is where Safina is, and many Kenyans are coming to this space. And we welcome this group to continue having that kind of conversation, where we focus on the people. William Ruto will not lie to Kenyans twice. He's been there, done that. The road to Singapore is a stillbirth. He could lie in the last elections about Hustler dynasty. He could lie about the poor people, Mama Mboga, Boda Boda. They are now the wiser. And those lies will not sell. The Kenyan people, and many of them, are expressing a desire, and they are joining Safina Party. And they are saying, this is the kind of politics that we want. Politics that is about the people, not about legacy politicians. Trying to tell us like as if they are Father Christmases, offering us goodies here and there. It is our resources that needs to be applied towards our benefit by us, not by somebody else. That is what Safina is about.
We have seen politically, the president is using the incumbency strategy of trying to disintegrate or to split the opposition. Do you feel right now, probably as a leader in Safina, the whole of the opposition are better off speaking as one voice, so that all the opposing forces are not splitted or are not disintegrated, so that at least Ruto emerges as a front runner, and all these others, that would give him a chance of getting another term?
Remember, the person who is going to be elected president must get 50% plus one of the vote. So it doesn't matter how splittered or how many candidates come out to contest. The winner must get at least 50% plus one, including William Ruto himself. It is not like before, in the old constitution, where it was a simple majority first past the post, that the person who gets a simple majority of the votes cast is declared president. You must get 50% plus one, including William Ruto. So he must still campaign himself, even if the opposition is split. Even if he ran with himself, he must still get 50% plus one of the votes cast. If he doesn't,
we saw in the 2022 general election, we saw so many post-election buyouts. I would call them that. Probably he doesn't want to win in the first round. He just wants a simple majority. He becomes the front runner. Then
even if he gets that simple majority, where will he get it from? Where is his path to power? It's the Kenyan people who will decide if they're giving him a path to power or not. I don't see his path to power. I don't see that constituency. What we should be focusing on is a critical mass of the Kenyan people defining and determining what they want for themselves in their governance. And Safina is a platform where we can have that kind of a conversation. And as many of them as are going to believe in the Safina ideology, they'll vote for Safina. And Safina is not about a tribe. Safina is about all of us. When you talk about the economy affects all Kenyans. But legacy politicians want to do the tribal arithmetic. Mtu wetu here. As if when the economy tanks, it only tanks for the opposition. It tanks for everybody. When we talk about 16% VAT is out, it will be out across the entire country. So everybody across the country, wherever they are, will be receiving or retaining in their pockets 11% of what they were spending on disposable income as VAT contribution. They'll retain 11% and retain it in their pockets and apply it to other needs. So that's the kind of conversation Safina is about. Because our problems knows no tribe. Our problems are universal to all of us as Kenyans. The economy is to all of us. But William Ruto will start doing tribal arithmetic, nimeleta huyu, kigogo here, kigogo there. Where if you think your tribal lord is in the cabinet or is in a senior position, now the tribe is full. That is bullshit. Doesn't work that way. They saw them the other day trying to gaslight people in Nyanza that, oh, you have now a CS of treasury, you have a CS of energy, now you should be happy. But there are very many people in their backyards of those two CSs who are sleeping hungry, who are kids, young men and women who've gone to school are jobless. Their future is depressed, right? So what does that CS help them with? It doesn't. But if the economy was working for everybody, they don't need to care who is a CS. Every Kenyan is now a king or a queen, where we want a country that works for all of us, not just for legacy politicians. So that type of politics is rejected. We are in a new phase, and that's the phase that Safina Party represents, and like-minded Kenyans who have gotten intolerant with this legacy politics that has caused great depression and oppression to our people. We must reject this entire system and come up with a political system that works for the people. That is what Safina is about.
Wakili, we are seeing a majority of voters who would listen to what I would call your fresh ideas, away from what legacy politicians are preaching, are mostly youth. The largest constituency is the constituency of youth. There was a there's a recent voter registration process that was they haven't taken it up. They are not registering as voters. How will we change this country? For example, how do you think we will change this country if the people we expect are going to listen to the fresh ideas? They are educated, they are enlightened, they are exposed to how things have been, how things are running. They are affected themselves. How do you think we are going to change these countries when the youth themselves have not even registered as voters? Some probably are not even going to turn up to vote. We saw it in the by-election.
You know, what I must tell you, don't buy into the legacy politicians' talk that they're not registering as voters. What is going on is continuous voter registration, not enhanced voter registration. There's always what we call the enhanced mass registration of voters, in which IBC goes to the local, every polling station becomes a registration center. We are not there. They even go to the villages, they go to churches, mosques, hospitals, social functions and gatherings to register people. We are not doing that. They've just reopened continuous registration at the 290 constituency centers. Okay? And if you look at the numbers that are being registered now, and the numbers when previously continuous registration was taking place, the numbers are quite high. Right? So judge the young people when the enhanced mass registration takes place and you don't see those numbers coming up. That is when you can judge them that, hey, there's a problem. You're not coming out. But as it is now, if you ask me as an electoral expert, those numbers are looking good. Because I'm comparing it based on previous incidents of continuous voter registration, where you will find in a constituency, in a whole month, only 2 or 3 people have registered. That was when there's continuous voter registration. Now, in every constituency, you are seeing the numbers in a month are above 500. So that should tell you that, despite the distances, because it's only being done in the 290 centers. So somebody must travel from his village to go to the constituency headquarters to access registration. So don't worry. The young people will register, and they are registering. In enhanced registration, they will shock everybody.
Wakili, another issue is the issue of last year, Kenya lost a great leader in Raila Odinga, and we will definitely miss him in the politics of Kenya. I know previously the Safina Party and your party leader have had a working relationship with the Honorable Raila Odinga. We have seen his party is in turmoil. I know as a political, you have political interest and you are watching from the sidelines what is happening. What is your opinion about what is happening in ODM? We are currently seeing all the exchanges. We are seeing, for example, the ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna wants to be kicked out, or probably there's debate about that. What do you think? Is it a deliberate, probably a deliberate intention to split the Orange Democratic Party so that at least the opposition or the competition is weakened going towards 2027?
ODM was a formidable political force. And obviously, there are many people who are salivating for ODM, including William Ruto. And they will do everything possible to try to carry favor with the membership of that political party. But that is their issue. And what I witnessed to me is more of the fight for the soul of ODM. What's the real soul of ODM? And I wish them well to try to find the soul of the party and to chart a political future. We only do hope that this conversation should be about the people, not about legacy politicians. Being a deputy party leader of Safina, the less I say about ODM, which is another political party, the better. I should not spend much time discussing another political party and how it organizes its affairs. But I wish them well that they do find their true identity and what Raila Odinga, a man that I admired, stood for, and why even the numbers in ODM were those numbers.
Okay, let's conclude this interview by just getting your opinion about, I know we are talking about the status quo and new ideas, legacy politicians and now the fresh politicians that have never been in power like yourself. How is this election going to be won or lost in between the two factions?
The elections will be won on the economy. That is where the Kenyan people are. It's about the economy. As James Carville used to say, it's the economy, stupid. To mean, all that the Kenyan people care about today is food on their table and money on their pockets. That is all they want. William Ruto promises them more taxes. He's going to increase their taxes this year. When the finance bill comes, he will increase their taxes next year. Safina Party has told you, VAT 16% is out. And every Kenyan pays VAT. We are going to have a 5% sales tax. So if you want to pay more taxes, they'll be with William Ruto and legacy politicians. If you want a reduction in your taxes to every Kenyan, not just pay slip holders, Safina Party is there. And I do believe the Kenyan people are prudent and wiser. Safina is the way.
Any events to look forward to towards in 2026 for Safina Party? Any enhanced campaigns, grassroots mobilization, door-to-door campaign?
It's going on. The conversation within Safina is going on. And the Kenyan people are showing great interest to work with Safina Party. And we have started our activation on the grassroots. And very many people are volunteering to help push the message of Safina to their friends, to their neighbors, to their associates, just to make sure that we redefine what our politics is about. It's about the people, not about legacy politicians.
Thank you very much, Wakili, for your time. You've said it. It's about the people, not about legacy politicians. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Road to 2027.